Good day, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that each of us has the ability to cultivate, but often overlook: our mental strength. In a world where we're constantly challenged, whether it's with personal struggles, external pressures, or simply the day-to-day grind, our ability to stay mentally strong is essential. Our emotions are an intrinsic part of being human. They are the signals that help us navigate through life, alerting us to what we feel and how we perceive the world around us. Emotions like joy, excitement, anger, and sadness are natural responses to our environment, interactions, and experiences. However, despite how intense they may feel, it's important to remember that emotions are temporary states of mind. They are not permanent conditions, and they certainly don't have to control our actions or decisions. One of the most challenging aspects of dealing with emotions is the tendency to let them define our behavior. For instance, when we're angry, it's easy to lash out at others or make impulsive decisions. When we're sad, we might retreat from the world, isolating ourselves and allowing that sadness to consume us. The key to emotional resilience is recognizing that we don't have to act on every emotion we experience. Instead, we can pause, assess how we feel, and choose our response carefully. This pause is crucial for maintaining control and preventing our emotions from dictating our actions. To embrace your emotions without letting them control you, it's essential to create space between what you feel and how you respond. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, interpret, and manage emotions effectively. When you become emotionally intelligent, you develop the skill to notice your emotions without being swept away by them. This means that when you feel anger rising or sadness settling in, you can acknowledge it, but you don't have to let it push you into reactive behavior. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, ensuring your actions align with your long-term goals and values. Another critical element of emotional control is learning how to process emotions constructively. This involves expressing your emotions in healthy ways rather than bottling them up or letting them erupt unexpectedly. For example, journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or even engaging in physical activities like exercise or yoga can help release built-up emotions. This process allows you to understand the root cause of your emotions, which is often a powerful step in preventing them from taking over your mindset. When you make a habit of releasing and processing emotions, you strengthen your mental fortitude. While emotions can be overwhelming, they are also signals of what is important to us. Fear can indicate a need for caution, while anger may reflect a violation of our boundaries. Instead of trying to suppress or avoid emotions, it's essential to understand what they are trying to tell us. By embracing your emotions, you allow yourself to gain insights into your needs, desires, and values. This self-awareness helps you make informed decisions and take appropriate action, rather than reacting impulsively based on a fleeting emotional state. However, embracing emotions does not mean giving in to them completely. It's crucial to strike a balance between acknowledging emotions and maintaining perspective. For example, it's natural to feel frustrated when things don't go as planned, but it's essential to remind yourself that this frustration is temporary and that you can move beyond it. By allowing yourself to feel without being consumed by your emotions, you can maintain a sense of control and clarity, even in challenging situations. This balance helps you navigate life with grace and resilience. Ultimately, embracing your emotions without letting them control you is a lifelong practice. It's not about suppressing or denying your feelings, but about learning to coexist with them in a way that serves you. When you cultivate this ability, you become more attuned to your emotional needs, more thoughtful in your reactions, and more empowered in your decisions. By honoring your emotions and responding to them with intention, you take charge of your mental strength and create a foundation for a more peaceful, balanced life. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits, but can be developed and improved over time. This concept, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, emphasizes the importance of effort, learning, and resilience. In contrast to a fixed mindset, which assumes that intelligence and talents are set in stone, a growth mindset opens the door to endless possibilities for growth and improvement. By adopting a growth mindset, you can transform how you approach challenges, setbacks, and even success itself. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is the ability to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. People with a growth mindset see difficulties as opportunities to learn, not as insurmountable obstacles. They believe that by pushing themselves through tough situations, they will become stronger and more capable. This mindset encourages you to take risks, try new things, and step outside of your comfort zone because you understand that failure is simply part of the learning process. Each challenge, whether you succeed or fail, offers valuable lessons that contribute to your personal growth. Another key component of a growth mindset is the recognition that effort is the key to improvement. When you embrace the idea that success comes from hard work and perseverance, you become more willing to invest time and energy into your goals. People with a growth mindset understand that mastery doesn't happen overnight. Instead, it's the result of continuous effort, practice, and a willingness to improve. This perspective not only makes you more resilient in the face of difficulties, but also encourages you to be patient with yourself as you work toward mastery in any area of life. Mistakes are often seen as failures, but in a growth mindset, mistakes are considered stepping stones to success. Rather than avoiding mistakes out of fear, individuals with a growth mindset welcome them as opportunities to learn and grow. When you make a mistake, it doesn't define your ability or worth, it simply provides you with new information about what works and what doesn't. This allows you to approach problems with an open mind, ready to adapt and improve based on what you've learned. Embracing mistakes as part of the process helps reduce the fear of failure and fosters a more positive and proactive attitude toward challenges. A growth mindset also involves a commitment to continuous learning. Rather than believing you have reached your limit, people with a growth mindset are always looking for ways to expand their knowledge and abilities. They actively seek feedback, take on new challenges, and engage in activities that promote personal and professional growth. This mindset makes lifelong learning not just a goal, but a core part of their identity. Whether through formal education, self-study, or hands-on experience, individuals with a growth mindset are always evolving and improving. Cultivating a growth mindset also means being open to constructive criticism and feedback. Rather than viewing criticism as a personal attack, those with a growth mindset see it as an opportunity to learn from others and refine their skills. Feedback is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced and used to fuel improvement. By developing the ability to accept and act upon feedback, you increase your chances of success and accelerate your growth. The ability to listen, learn, and grow from others is one of the hallmarks of a strong and adaptable mindset. The power of a growth mindset lies in its ability to transform your approach to failure and success. When you view challenges as opportunities and setbacks as temporary, your perspective on life shifts. Instead of being discouraged by difficulties, you approach them with enthusiasm and determination, knowing that every experience contributes to your growth. This mindset not only enhances your ability to achieve your goals, but also builds the mental strength needed to face adversity with confidence. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop limiting yourself and start believing in your endless potential to evolve, adapt, and succeed. Self-discipline is the ability to control your actions, emotions, and behaviors to achieve a greater goal. It is the foundation for making consistent progress, particularly when you encounter obstacles or distractions along the way. While motivation can be fleeting and unreliable, self-discipline provides the steady determination required to stay on course even when things get tough. By practicing self-discipline, you create the consistency necessary to move forward, regardless of how you feel in the moment. One of the first steps to practicing self-discipline is understanding the power of habit. Our daily actions are shaped by habits, and habits are the building blocks of success. If you want to achieve something meaningful, you need to develop positive habits that align with your goals. This might involve creating a morning routine that sets you up for productivity, setting aside specific times for focused work, or committing to regular exercise. The more consistent you are with these habits, the more they become second nature, and the easier it is to maintain your discipline over time. Self-discipline also requires setting clear, achievable goals. Without goals, it's easy to get distracted or lose sight of what you're working towards. By setting specific, measurable, and realistic goals, you create a roadmap that keeps you on track. These goals act as motivation to push through the moments of resistance. The key is breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable steps, which allows you to experience regular progress and maintain momentum. Each small victory reinforces your commitment to your long-term vision. Another crucial aspect of self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. In a world full of instant rewards, it's easy to succumb to the temptation of short-term pleasure. Whether it's indulging in unhealthy food, procrastinating, or spending time on distractions, giving in to instant gratification can derail your progress. Self-discipline is about resisting these temptations and staying focused on the bigger picture. By learning to delay gratification and prioritize long-term rewards, you train yourself to make decisions that align with your goals, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. Self-discipline also requires self-control in managing distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, emails, texts, and the lure of entertainment can easily pull your attention away from what's important. Developing the discipline to limit distractions and stay focused is essential for consistent progress. This might mean setting boundaries with technology, creating a quiet work environment, or dedicating specific blocks of time to uninterrupted work. The more you can focus on the task at hand, the more productive and disciplined you'll become. Equally important is learning to persevere through failure and setbacks. When we're working towards something meaningful, there will inevitably be times when things don't go as planned. A lack of progress, mistakes, or even outright failure can be discouraging. However, self-discipline means continuing to push forward despite these obstacles. Rather than giving up, those with strong self-discipline use setbacks as opportunities to adjust their approach, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward. This persistence is often the difference between success and failure. Lastly, practicing self-discipline requires maintaining a balance between rest and work. While it's essential to stay disciplined and focused on your goals, it's equally important to recognize the need for recovery. Overworking yourself without adequate rest can lead to burnout, which ultimately undermines progress. Self-discipline isn't just about pushing through, it's about knowing when to take breaks, recharge, and come back stronger. By incorporating balance into your routine, you ensure that your discipline is sustainable in the long run. Fear is a natural human emotion, and at times, it can feel overwhelming. It arises in response to uncertainty, danger, or the potential for failure. However, fear doesn't have to be something that holds you back. In fact, by learning to let go of fear, you can transform it into a powerful motivator that propels you forward. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you or stop you from taking action, you can harness its energy to help you grow and push past your limits. The first step in using fear as a motivator is acknowledging it. Many people try to avoid or deny their fears, thinking that if they ignore them, they'll go away. But this usually only leads to greater anxiety. The key is to face your fears directly and understand that it's okay to be afraid. Fear doesn't define you, nor does it have to control your actions. By recognizing your fear and understanding where it comes from, you take the first step toward mastering it. This shift in perspective allows you to move from a place of avoidance to one of empowerment. Once you've acknowledged fear, the next step is to reframe it. Instead of seeing fear as a barrier, view it as a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into new territory. Fear is often an indicator that you're on the verge of growth. Whether it's taking on a new challenge, pursuing a goal that seems daunting, or making a significant life change, fear is simply a reminder that you're pushing your boundaries. This shift in thinking allows you to see fear as an ally in your journey toward personal development rather than something to fear. Another way to use fear as a motivator is to focus on the potential rewards of overcoming it. Fear often arises from the unknown, the fear of failure, rejection, or embarrassment. However, by thinking about the positive outcomes that can come from facing your fears, you create a vision of success that drives you forward. When you focus on the benefits, such as personal growth, new opportunities, or the feeling of accomplishment, fear becomes less daunting. The possibility of these rewards can give you the courage and determination needed to take action despite your fears. In addition to focusing on rewards, taking small steps toward overcoming your fear can help reduce its power over you. Fear often feels overwhelming when faced all at once, but breaking it down into smaller, manageable steps can make it feel more achievable. Whether it's speaking in public, starting a new project, or confronting a difficult situation, approaching your fear gradually allows you to build confidence and experience success in stages. Each small victory diminishes the fear, and the more you face it, the easier it becomes to take on bigger challenges. Fear also serves as a reminder to prepare and take calculated risks. While fear may stem from the unknown, part of using it as a motivator involves turning that uncertainty into an opportunity for preparation. Fear can push you to be more thorough, to plan better, and to be more strategic in your approach. Rather than rushing into something impulsively, fear can help you assess the risks, gather information, and make informed decisions. By taking the time to prepare, you can turn fear into a tool that ensures you're more ready for the challenges ahead. Lastly, learning to embrace fear builds resilience. As you continue to face and overcome your fears, you become stronger emotionally and mentally. Each time you confront fear, you develop greater self-confidence and the understanding that you are capable of handling whatever challenges come your way. Over time, this process builds an unshakable resilience that allows you to face future fears with greater ease. Rather than shrinking back from fear, you learn to welcome it as part of the growth process. And it becomes less of an obstacle and more of a motivator for continued success. Accepting responsibility for your actions is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward personal growth and mental strength. When you take ownership of your choices, you move from a passive position of blame or victimhood into a proactive stance where you are in control of your life. Instead of deflecting or making excuses, you acknowledge that your decisions, both good and bad, are yours to own. This mindset shifts your focus from external circumstances to internal control, empowering you to shape your future with more intention and clarity. One of the first challenges in accepting responsibility is letting go of the tendency to blame others or external factors for our problems. It's easy to point fingers when things don't go as planned, Whether it's blaming a co-worker for a project setback or blaming bad luck for a personal disappointment, it can feel comforting to deflect responsibility. However, when we blame others, we give away our power. We surrender control over the situation, believing that someone or something else dictates the outcome. By taking responsibility for our actions, we reclaim our power and open the door to real change. Accepting responsibility also means recognizing that you have control over your reactions and decisions, even in challenging situations. Life is full of uncertainties, and sometimes things happen that are beyond our control. However, while we can't always control external events, we can always control how we respond to them. Whether it's how we handle criticism, cope with stress, or make choices in the face of adversity, our reactions are within our control. Accepting responsibility for these responses means acknowledging that our actions, regardless of circumstances, reflect our mindset, values, and beliefs. There's also a deep connection between accepting responsibility and personal integrity. Integrity is about being truthful with yourself and others, and taking responsibility for your actions is a core component of this. When you own your choices, you demonstrate honesty and accountability. This builds trust, not only with others but with yourself as well. When you consistently take responsibility for your actions, you create a foundation of self-respect. You no longer have to live with the weight of unacknowledged mistakes or unresolved issues. Instead, you embrace your decisions and learn from them, which strengthens your character over time. An essential aspect of accepting responsibility is learning to make amends and take corrective action when necessary. Acknowledging that you've made a mistake or caused harm is important, but it's equally important to take steps to make things right. Apologizing, offering restitution, or changing behavior are all part of taking full responsibility. This not only repairs relationships but also helps you grow as a person. It's easy to fall into the trap of guilt or shame when we've wronged someone, but taking responsibility allows you to move forward with a sense of purpose and accountability, knowing that you're making amends and improving yourself in the process. By accepting responsibility for your actions, you also free yourself from the constant cycle of regret and self-blame. When we avoid responsibility, we often carry unnecessary emotional baggage that hinders our growth. This can manifest as lingering feelings of guilt, shame, or frustration. However, when we step up and take ownership of our actions, we release the hold these negative emotions have on us. Rather than dwelling on what went wrong, we shift our focus toward what we can do to improve and what lessons we can learn. This mental shift allows us to move forward with a clearer mind and greater confidence. Accepting responsibility is also crucial for building better relationships. When you acknowledge your role in a situation, whether it's a misunderstanding, a disagreement, or a failure, you demonstrate maturity and respect for others. It shows that you are willing to be accountable and that you value honesty in your interactions. People appreciate those who own their actions because it fosters trust and mutual respect. In contrast, avoiding responsibility can erode relationships, as others may perceive you as dishonest or unwilling to own up to your mistakes. When you take responsibility, you cultivate stronger, more authentic connections with the people around you. One of the most empowering practices for building mental strength is learning to focus on what you can control. In life, there are countless things beyond our influence: other people's actions, the weather, the past, and the outcome of unpredictable events. Trying to control these external factors is not only futile, but it also drains your energy and creates unnecessary stress. The key to maintaining your peace and moving forward in life is to direct your attention to the aspects that are within your control, which allows you to approach each situation with a sense of purpose and clarity. When you focus on what you can control, You prioritize your response to situations. It's not always what happens to you that defines your experience, but how you choose to react. For instance, while you cannot control the behavior of others, you have full control over how you respond to them. Whether someone is rude, disrespectful, or critical, your response is within your power. By focusing on your own reactions, you avoid becoming a passive victim of circumstances and instead retain your agency. This allows you to act with intention and integrity, even in challenging situations. Another critical element of focusing on what you can control is managing your mindset. Your thoughts have a powerful impact on how you experience life. While you can't always control the negative thoughts that pop up in your mind, you can control whether or not you entertain them. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, you can choose to redirect your thoughts towards positivity, solutions, or gratitude. Rather than dwelling on negative thoughts or feelings of helplessness, you can consciously focus on the present moment and choose a mindset that supports your well-being and personal growth. In addition to your mindset, focusing on what you can control means taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. You cannot control the outcomes of every situation, but you can control how much effort and intention you put into your choices. Whether it's how you work, how you engage with others, or how you handle your responsibilities, your actions are always within your control. By consistently making choices that align with your values and goals, you create a path forward, regardless of external circumstances. This sense of ownership over your actions reinforces your resilience and helps you stay grounded, even in uncertainty. One of the greatest benefits of focusing on what you can control is the reduction of stress and anxiety. Worrying about things outside of your influence only increases your mental burden. When you fixate on things that are out of your hands, you feel helpless and overwhelmed. By refocusing your energy on what is within your power, you eliminate that unnecessary mental strain. For example, if you're anxious about an upcoming event, rather than stressing about potential outcomes, focus on preparing to the best of your ability. This shift allows you to feel more in control and less affected by external variables. Furthermore, focusing on what you can control helps you build consistency and discipline in your life. When you take ownership of your actions and commit to making positive choices, you build momentum toward your goals. Even when things don't go as planned, if you focus on what you can control, your effort, your attitude, your response, you maintain a sense of progress. This sense of control is empowering because it reinforces that your success is largely determined by the actions you take, not the uncontrollable factors around you. It cultivates a mindset of progress, no matter the circumstances. Lastly, focusing on what you can control enhances your ability to adapt to change. Life is constantly evolving, and there will be times when things don't go the way you expect or desire. If you fixate on what you can't control, such as the actions of others or external situations, you'll only create frustration and resistance. However, by concentrating on what you can control, you develop the flexibility and resilience needed to adjust your approach and stay on course. This adaptability allows you to move forward, regardless of the inevitable ups and downs that life presents, and to find opportunities in every challenge. Patience is often viewed as a virtue, but it becomes most essential during times of difficulty and adversity. In the face of hardship, it's natural to want immediate relief, to push for quick solutions, or to escape the discomfort of the moment. However, cultivating patience during difficult times allows you to respond thoughtfully, make better decisions, and preserve your mental and emotional well-being. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress or frustration, patience gives you the clarity and composure needed to navigate challenges with resilience. One of the most important aspects of cultivating patience is learning to manage your expectations. In many cases, our frustration arises from a mismatch between what we expect to happen and what actually occurs. We want things to happen quickly, we want solutions to be immediate, and we want outcomes that align with our desires. However, life often doesn't work this way. Understanding that not everything will unfold as planned, and that some things take time can ease the pressure and help you embrace the process rather than rushing to the end result. By adjusting your expectations, you can foster a sense of peace, even in challenging times. Patience also involves learning to tolerate uncertainty. Difficult times often come with a great deal of unknowns, whether it's uncertainty about the future, the outcome of a situation, or how long the struggle will last. This uncertainty can be uncomfortable, but patience teaches you to sit with it without panic. Instead of focusing on what you don't know, patience allows you to focus on what you can control in the present moment. You learn to trust the process, even when the end result seems unclear, and give yourself permission to move through the discomfort of uncertainty without rushing toward resolution. Additionally, cultivating patience in difficult times requires self-compassion. When faced with hardship, it's easy to become frustrated with yourself, to feel like you should be doing more, or to criticize yourself for not handling things better. However, self-compassion helps you navigate difficulties without adding the weight of self-judgment to the burden you're already carrying. Patience involves being kind to yourself and recognizing that you're doing the best you can under difficult circumstances. By offering yourself the same grace you would offer a friend, you create the emotional space needed to cope effectively with challenges. Another crucial element of patience is the ability to focus on the present moment. During difficult times, it's easy to become consumed by what might happen in the future, or to ruminate on past mistakes or regrets. These distractions only serve to heighten stress and anxiety. Cultivating patience means redirecting your focus back to the present, where you have the ability to take meaningful action. By remaining grounded in the moment, you avoid getting lost in hypothetical scenarios or what-ifs, allowing yourself to make decisions that are thoughtful and aligned with your values, rather than reactive or impulsive. Patience is also tied to the practice of perseverance. Difficult times can feel overwhelming, and there may be moments when it feels easier to give up or quit altogether. However, cultivating patience helps you persevere through these moments by encouraging you to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow or unseen. Every small step you take, even if it feels insignificant at the time, contributes to your growth and eventual success. Patience doesn't mean waiting passively, it means staying committed to your goals, even when things are tough, and understanding that growth often comes in stages. Finally, cultivating patience in difficult times strengthens your resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and patience is a key ingredient in this process. When you are patient with yourself and the process, you give yourself the time and space to learn, adapt, and recover from setbacks. Instead of allowing obstacles to knock you down permanently, patience allows you to navigate challenges without losing sight of your long-term goals. Over time, this patience builds a foundation of mental and emotional resilience, making you better equipped to handle future difficulties with greater calm and composure. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mental strength, your outlook on life, and the decisions you make. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Positive, supportive influences help you grow, push you to be better, and provide encouragement when you need it most. Conversely, toxic or negative influences can drain your energy, undermine your confidence, and limit your potential. The key to maintaining mental strength and achieving personal growth is to intentionally surround yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and support you. Positive influences are people who motivate you to be the best version of yourself. They are individuals who cheer you on when you're pursuing your goals, offer constructive feedback when you need it, and encourage you to overcome challenges. These are the people who see your potential even when you doubt yourself, and who celebrate your successes without jealousy or resentment. By surrounding yourself with such individuals, you create a network of support that reinforces your own belief in your capabilities and provides the strength to keep going when faced with difficulties. A major benefit of having supportive influences is the encouragement to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone. When you're surrounded by people who believe in you, you're more likely to take action toward your goals. Even when fear or self-doubt tries to hold you back, positive influences help you see the opportunities in challenges rather than the obstacles, and they push you to try new things, knowing that they will be there to support you no matter the outcome. Whether it's launching a new project, pursuing a new career, or making a major life change, these supportive people act as a safety net, giving you the courage to take risks and learn from any missteps along the way. In contrast, negative influences can have a detrimental effect on your mental strength. These are people who may criticize your ideas, belittle your goals, or drain your energy with constant negativity. When you spend time with individuals who are critical, dismissive, or unsupportive, their attitudes can easily influence your own mindset. It's important to recognize when relationships become toxic, as they can undermine your self-esteem, increase feelings of doubt, and lead to unnecessary stress. Negative influences often focus on the barriers rather than the solutions, leaving you feeling stuck or discouraged. By distancing yourself from these individuals, you create space for more uplifting relationships to thrive. Supportive relationships also promote a sense of belonging and community. Humans are social creatures, and feeling connected to others is essential for emotional well-being. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people creates an environment where you can share your joys, struggles, and experiences, knowing you are understood and accepted. This sense of connection fosters empathy and understanding, which is vital for maintaining emotional balance. It also provides a sense of accountability, as these people not only offer encouragement but also hold you accountable for your actions and goals, helping you stay on track. Moreover, the influence of positive relationships extends beyond emotional support. These individuals often bring new perspectives, ideas, and experiences to your life, enriching your personal growth. When you're around people who are open-minded, curious, and driven, you're more likely to adopt similar qualities. Exposure to diverse viewpoints, experiences, and knowledge helps broaden your understanding and challenges you to grow in new ways. Positive, supportive people encourage you to keep learning, seek new experiences, and continuously evolve, which accelerates your personal development. Lastly, it's essential to remember that positive, supportive influences don't always come from close friends or family. Sometimes the people who motivate you the most might be mentors, colleagues, or even acquaintances who share similar interests or values. It's important to actively seek out these relationships, whether through professional networks, community groups, or online communities. By intentionally creating a circle of positive, supportive people, you ensure that you're constantly surrounded by individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and lift you up in times of need. T. Or be mentally strong is not about avoiding challenges, but rather how you choose to respond to them. It's about taking control of your mindset, your emotions, and your habits. It's about staying grounded in your values and continuously striving to improve. So today, commit to building your mental strength. And remember that each step you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. Thank you.